Evening people, how you doing? I'm going to call this video one shot. Sorry if I'm in the dark, but if I turn you round I'll look better, but I've got a feeling there's going to be too much wind on this mic, but bugger it, we'll try it. Yeah, I'm going to call this video one shot because my lovely wife has got tea on the go. Sundown is in about 20 minutes, so I've just literally come down to a little bit of coastline where I live. The good thing about this spot is, if I look that way, I've got the sun going down, which is cool, but the foreground's not looking great. The light's just bouncing off the water and it's not looking amazing, and I'm not liking it at the minute. I thought I would, but I'm not. But the good thing is, because of where I am, like I've said before in videos, sun's going down over there. If that's not working, spin it round and you might have some clouds on the other side, which might catch some colour. But at the minute, it's not much. But anyway, so I'm hoping, I've got a long exposure in my mind because I haven't done a long exposure for ages. The last video I took was the sunrise on a beach, which is about 2 miles or about a mile round that way. But yeah, the light's fading, so it's going to be a bit of a long exposure anyway. And I'm hoping a long exposure will tidy up this water. There is, where the sun's coming down, there's loads of glistening on the rocks, which might look quite nice. I think if I can get a long exposure on this water, it will look better. At the minute it just looks a bit kind of messy, but I've got the sun up there, which looks kind of cool. Unfortunately, I'm going to shoot with my wide angle lens, so the sun's going to look like something off Button Moon. It's going to look well small in the distance. So what I really want is the colour. And I don't know if you can see behind me, but just below that sun there is a load of cloud. There's the sun. And when that drops below that cloud, I think I've lost it and it's gone till tomorrow. Yeah, but see, that's the shot I'm thinking of, looking down there. So I'm going to have a little walk about, see if I can find some kind of composition. I don't know if you can see what I mean by the water. It just looks kind of messy, it doesn't look great. Might be something nice there. I'll have a look, see what I can do. Hang tight. Like I've said in videos in the past before I get all my camera gear out, I just get my mobile phone and just have a little walk about and see if I can get myself some kind of composition. Because if I slip at the minute, I'm only going to damage my phone. If I slip when I've got my camera in my hand, I'm going to cry. It's going to be a kind of shot, all rocks coming down on the left hand side. Sun, I'm going to lose that sun in a minute if I don't pull my finger out, I reckon. Around there somewhere. It's looking pretty good. In fact, I'm going to take a picture on my phone now. I'm going to put that bad boy up on the screen, something like that. See, I've got the rocks in the foreground. I think if I smooth that water out, I'm just hoping that the sun's not really doing much, and when I get my wide angle on, it's going to be nothing, but that's the best I'm going to get it. I'm not liking it, to be honest. I'm preferring that more because I've got some rocks in the foreground here and the water's kind of rushing around it, so I reckon that would will look nice on a long exposure. See, I want to get my composition before the light completely drops. Oh, I think I've got a composition. Yes. Right, got a composition. There's a nice leading line, nice diagonal line. I'm going to be fairly dry. I think it'd be quite nice. Spin you around and show you what I mean. Sorry this is a bit all rushed, but right, I'm going to set my camera up on these rocks here, and that's going to be my kind of leading line, diagonal line. It's going to look cool with a long exposure, the water rushing around the rocks. And I've got all this going up the left hand side, and then hopefully I'll have a nice sky. That's my plan. Sun is just about to drop or dip below those clouds, so I'm hoping those clouds there are going to hold a little bit of colour. They're moving from right to left, so literally I've got those clouds there coming into the scene, all this on the left, leading line on the right. That's my plan. Right, I'm just going to put you up whilst I crack on because I ain't got a lot of time. Anyone out there's got a camera bag that opens on the back and they want to give it away, send it my way. This is all wet now, my back's going to get soaked. Bit of colour on those clouds even though they're miles away. Right, I'm going to go straight for neutral density filter because I'm not liking the shutter speed I've got there. Like I said earlier on, I really want to smooth this water out. ND filter closest to the lens because I've got a gasket there. I'm going to get him in focus and then I'm going to turn him onto manual focus so he doesn't try and hunt. Then I'm going to chuck the grad filter on. The sky's a little bit brighter at the minute, not a huge amount of brighter, but right people, f13 ISO 100, shutter speed of 13 seconds, which is smoothing the water out or giving it that thing, quite nice. When you look at the picture, there's some rocks on the right that go from right, leading line on the right hand side, focused, yes, probably about a third of the way into the scene, and there's a little bit of colour left in the sky. What do you think about, nothing major, nothing brilliant. It's weird because it almost looks like these rocks are just stuck on the right hand side. I quite like that. If I get a bit more colour in the sky, might be cool. Left it on f13, left it on ISO 100, and now I've got a shutter speed of up to 30 seconds. So I can get a bit more movement in that water. And there's a little bit of colour in that sky, I think, better than the first shot. So again, settings are exactly the same, f13, ISO 100, focused a third of the way in. The only thing I've changed is my shutter speed up to 30 seconds. And the histogram is looking pretty good. It's quite dark on the left, the histogram, but that's this, these rocks here are quite dark. The only thing I have noticed, oh, you know your lens has got image stabilisation on it. I've just taken a few shots with it turned on. At 13 seconds, there was no blur in the shot. Now I don't know if this is because the wind has picked up. All my shots at 13 seconds, pin sharp in the foreground. I've just done a 30-second exposure, 2 of them, and they were both blurred. So I've turned my image stabilisation off, taken a shot, and it's pin sharp. Now I don't know if that's because the wind died, don't know, but anything over 13 seconds are definitely sharper with the image stabilisation turned off. So I know I've questioned that in the past in my videos. I've said, oh, I'll just leave it on. I remember saying, actually, I did have an email conversation with someone from Canon, and they said, if you're on a tripod, just turn it off. So quick bit of advice, long exposure. For me anyway, tonight, anything over 13 seconds, I've had to turn the image stabilisation off. Anything that makes the shot sharper as far as I'm concerned. Right, so now the light's dipping. I don't normally do this. Normally, if I want to get more light in, I'll leave my ISO at 100 and I'll extend my shutter speed. But obviously, because the camera will only do a set exposure, or the longest exposure of 30 seconds before you go into bulb mode. So what I'm going to try doing now, I wouldn't mind, the histogram's quite heavily to the left-hand side. So what I'm going to do to get more light, what I'm going to do is make my sensor more sensitive to the light. So I'm going to up the ISO, and that I can bring some details out of these shadows then. I've moved my ISO up to 250, 2-second timer. Just to talk you through what I did then. Normally when I shoot my landscape photography, I always leave my camera at ISO 100 because that's the optimum performance of the sensor. The majority of the time shooting landscapes like this, I shoot in manual and I've got ISO 100, f13. Focus, say, a third of the way into the foreground or a third of the way into the shot, and the only thing I've got changed is the shutter speed. I've got videos and videos on this, so when I set up, focus a third of the way into the scene or something that's prominent in the foreground of the scene, focus on that, switch it onto manual, then it doesn't bounce about. Set my aperture to f13, set my ISO to 100, and then the only thing I've got to do is move my shutter speed, and I can see the scene getting brighter and getting darker. Now, because I've gone up to 30 seconds, if I want any more than 30 seconds, I've got to go into bulb mode. I'm being a lazy git. So what I want to do is make that sensor more sensitive to light. So all I'm going to do is crank my ISO up a little bit. That will make the sensor more sensitive to light, which means I'll be getting some detail out of these shadows. Does that make sense? If not, put a message down below and I'll do a few videos in this. It sounds all doodler, but trust me, it's easy. If I know how to do it, it's bloody easy. So let's have a look and see what that shot come out like. Oh, it's a lot brighter. Pin sharp. Don't think I'm keen on it though. I've upped the ISO to let more light in. Because I've done that, I've lost my shadows. It's just kind of quite a flat image now. But you get my drift. Right, like I said earlier, people, I was coming down here to get one shot and one shot only. So if that shot was any good, I'm going to quickly go back home now. In fact, I probably won't edit it tonight. I'm going to go home, have me soup and a glass of red. If that shot was any good, it was ISO 100. It was f13. It was 13 seconds. Focused roughly a third of the way into the scene on the rocks that come from right to left. And I had my IRND 6-stop neutral density filter to slow that shutter speed down, and I had my 0.6 soft graduated filter to try and slow that brighter sky down a little bit. And if the shot's any good, I don't think it's amazing, but it's just nice to get the filters out and have a play. This is what it looks like. What do you think? You've seen it before me. I haven't had a proper look yet, but all I know is pin sharp, because I've been so anal looking on the back of that camera since I had a few wiggly shots earlier. Like I said earlier on, if anyone wants any videos on aperture, ISO, shutter speed and blah blah blah, drop a comment down below and I'll make a few videos. I should make some videos really, because I get quite a few people asking me questions about graduated filters and how to use them. And so yeah, if anybody wants any, chuck them down below. It's easy peasy. I know how to do it, so it must be easy. But till next time, give us a like, hit some buttons, hit some subscribes, whatever. This is going to be going out on a Friday, so have a good Friday and have a great weekend. See you in the next vid. Cool. Cheers. Bye.